was a TV personality, a singer, a kid who grew up in Limerick, in Alfred, traveled the road back and forth a few times over the years, Mr. Lloyd Knight.
On into high school. The old Central York County League consisted of the high schools in Cornish, Limerick, Waterbouough, Alfred, Hollis, and Buxton. And we had very exciting activities, of course. We had checkers, we had horseshoes, we had spelling contests, and speaking contests. Oh, I remember the speaking contest well. 1938 at the Tory Hill Meeting House. Elkanah B. Atkinson's tavern was run on a plan that was strictly his own. And he reckoned that dudified sons of gun had far better leave him alone. He allowed he always had plenty to eat for folks that liked victuals plain. And when you come down to potatoes and meat, his house was a credit to Maine. The garden truck they raised themselves. They killed the pork, and the buttery shells just fairly groaned with gels and jams. In the shed out back, they smoked the hams. And old Elkanah used to brag, they laid down pickles by the keg, and had the darndest hens to lay. Got 50 eggs most every day, and every egg was big as your fist, and fresh in the whiff of mountain mist. The whole blamed house used to shake when old Elkanah pounded steak, 'cause says he, what made meat tough was 'cause some folks weren't strong enough. And he laid the food right on sky high, meat, soup, fish, and pie, all the courses on first whack. And then Elkanah'd stand back and say, there, folks, now hoe in. And when you've at that, pass up again. Of course, we ain't no big city hotel, but there's some few things we do quite well. P. Mortimer Perkins come down from New York, a salesman for corsets and things. With his trousers all creased and a la-di-da walk as if he was jiggered by springs, pulled up at the Atkinson house one night and says to Elkanah, says he, now I'm going first train in the morning, my good man. It's very important I go, but I find the service you get in these country hotels, they don't even answer the bells. Now I'll tell you once more before I retire, you'll get the idea by degrees. Elkanah lowered his specs to the very tip end of his nose, and he said, now you go right to bed, young fella, and don't worry a mite. We'll get you going tomorrow, all right. Of course, we ain't no big city hotel, but there's some few things we do fairly well. Elkanah sat all that night and kept the office fire bright. He nodded and smoked and yawned. And at 3:30 he went and poked the kitchen fire, set potatoes in to bake, and then went up to call his guest. A whangity-bang on the old oak door. Bangity-whang, it checked to snore. P. Mortimer Perkins opened his eyes in the deep dark dawn with much surprise, and under the coverlet warm and thick, on the good old-fashioned feather tick, felt the cold on his nose like a frosty knife, and never was so sleepy in all his life. But old Elkanah shouted, most 4:30. Is it cold out, he said. Well, she's spitting snow. P. Mortimer Perkins snuggled down, and says he, I say, old man, now please go away. I've changed my mind. I think I'll stay. This changing mind's a bad idea. I've sat in that office there all night, so's I could get you up all right. And coffee's on and breakfast is hot. So, friend, you can go on that train or not. But I'll tell you now, right off the reel, you're going to get up and eat that meal. P. Mortimer Perkins cursed and swore, but old Elkanah drove right through that door and dragged that drummer out of bed and brandished a chair round over his head, poked his ribs and made him dress so sleepy still that his gait cut S as he staggered down to the living room to eat his meal in the chillest gloom, while over him stood a grim old man with a stick and a steaming coffee can. Now, says Elkanah, since this is a special meal, that'll be 30 cents. And when the fella paid, meeks a pup and stammered, now can it be put up? Why, certain, mister, there's no hard feelings, no, none at all. You can go to Tophet or back to bed. There ain't no hard feelings, none at all, but when a fella leaves a call for an early meal at the Atkinson house, he gets it served right up genteel. And when it's served, well, now you bet, there ain't no peace till that meal's been at. Course, we ain't no big city hotel, but there's some few things we do quite well. The reason I remember that well is because I got second prize. And my folks thought I should have had first. But sooner or later the truth came out. One of the three judges was ill that night, and Frank Jewett, the principal of Buxton High School, volunteered to be a judge. I'm sure not because his daughter was speaking. Anyhow, when the verdict came in, Gene Jewett won first prize, and I got second. And my father, who never liked to be in where I was performing, I saw him peeking in the door. He said, shook his head like that. But anyway, that was fun.